Spoiler alert, avoid reading on if you want to live in a world where magic is real. Welcome to the zone where we fill your brain with solutions to life's biggest mysteries and problems. Brainzone, quenching your thirst for knowledge. Magic is one of the oldest art forms, and magicians have baffled and delighted their viewers by making incredible visions before written documents started. Magic helps you to witness the unthinkable. It causes a schism between what you believe can happen and what you notice. For a long time, the idea of magic has captivated people's imaginations all over the world. The first known magic performance can be dated back to 2700 BC, when a conjurer was said to make balls out of thin air in ancient Egypt. From novels and films based on sorcery to thousands of fans flocking to see world-famous magicians such as Dynamo, Jamie Raven, and Penn and Teller perform live, people are now as intrigued by the topic of magic as they have always been. People have been fascinated with magic tricks for decades, always wondering about the ancient secrets about what happens behind the scenes. In reality, several times, people were so taken by a particular trick that they started to wonder if true magic was taking place. However, we've discovered some of the mysteries magicians have wanted to hold to themselves for years, and we're delighted to be able to reveal the truth behind them to you. Here are the 10 most famous magic tricks debunked. Number 1, walking through glass without breaking it. We begin with one of Criss Angel's perplexing feats of walking through glass without shattering it. Angel's assistants are a part of the ruse. His spectators are nothing more than hired performers. The window is, in reality, custom made into the frame. The window is tall, with a narrow opening cut out at the bottom where he appears. Number 2, the guillotine. Have you ever seen someone being hacked by a guillotine but surviving unharmed? It's all a little trick used by magicians to keep the crowd entertained. The upper half uses an actual lethal blade similar to that used in a real guillotine, while the lower part has hidden compartments. There are small stop blocks to keep the sword from touching the magician's throat, and a trapdoor causes the magician's head and shoulders to disappear as the blade falls. Number 3, the levitating man. This type of street magic is relatively popular. A performer tends to float above the stage, relying solely on a stick or cane that can't support their weight. It's almost as if they've discovered a way to get around gravity. There's an explanation why these artists still wear baggy clothing. A base is hidden under the dress, and a heavy platform anchors the cane to the deck. They're still seated quite happily, and gravity hasn't been defied. Number 4, walking on water. This trick has been performed by master illusionists such as David Copperfield and David Blaine, and it never ceases to amaze viewers. Walking on water is something that Jesus did in the Bible, so it shouldn't be possible for ordinary people. The truth is that it isn't even close to being realistic. No magician has ever stepped on water. Instead, they carefully rest on transparent perspex boxes that are almost opaque when positioned under the water's surface. That's why onlookers are still forced to keep a safe distance from the trick. Number 5, the water cabinet escape. This was one of Houdini's favorite tricks, and it's always considered a complicated and spectacular trick to pull off today. A performer is chained or otherwise restrained before being thrown into a glass cabinet filled with water. The threat is imminent, and the magician must be able to hold their breath for an extended period. On the other hand, the handcuffs are the secret to escaping. They can be unlocked with a key pinned to the far side of the cabinet's wall. Number 6, vanishing the Statue of Liberty. This is perhaps the most popular of all the tricks David Copperfield has done over the years. The Statue of Liberty seemed to disappear into thin air in front of a live crowd, and millions more watched on TV. The public didn't realize that they, along with the TV cameras, were placed on a massive stage that was steadily rotating. Copperfield raised a curtain using the intricate deception tactics and then lowered the curtain again. The statue was obscured because the base had relocated. Number 7, how the floating woman trick works. The magician's assistant is placed on a table in front of him to begin the trick. When the performer abruptly lifts the table and the assistant starts to levitate, the crowd gasps. The magician will then drape a hoop over the assistant to prove that no devices or strings are attached. The magician uses a few tricks of the trade to pull off this fan favorite. The woman doing the trick typically wears a long flowing gown that conceals a mechanical levitation mechanism attached to the magician. It's up to the magician to divert the audience's attention away away from the device's existence. The hula hoop comes into play here. A gigantic hula hoop is pushed down the woman's length by the magician to demonstrate to the crowd that nothing is attached to her. The lift unit is attached to the magician so that the ring can move seamlessly over her body. Number 8, spike through the body. First, it will look as if the magician or their assistant has defied gravity by leaning on a pointed pole, which will be flaunted by being turned around. And almost out of nowhere, they'll fall a foot or two, impaling themselves on the spike they'd been unable to stab only moments before. They'll have to be lifted right up over the tip while remaining unharmed by the skewering. There's more to this trick than meets the eye, for no one expects to impale themselves and survive, let alone complete a magic act. The performer will have a small platform concealed on the spike that will allow him to rest their body weight while giving the appearance of being a human kebab. Dropping down is intended to divert attention away from the tip of the spike, which is visible through a unique corset worn to make it look as though it has passed through them. Number 9, coin through the glass. Every magician has shown that they can do extraordinary feats with commonplace materials. The coin going through a glass trick is one of the many that has kept us amused over the years. It's as simple as it sounds. A coin is placed at the palm of a magician's hand. Then they strike the bottle several times in the palm of their hand with the coin, which threatens to go through the glass and out the bottom of the cup. This trick relies heavily on the sleight of hand. Begin by bending your fingertips around the coin between slaps of the glass against the palm of your hand. Then, with a final slap of the cup against the palm of your hand, you can chuck the coin into the air and land it in the glass. Everything occurs at such a rapid rate that no one notices. Number 10, the signed card trick. A member of the crowd is asked to sign a random card by the magician. Then he cuts it into 4 parts in front of the stunned crowd and mysteriously returns the signed card. The trick is simple. The illusionist keeps the folded card in his pocket and uses it to replace the signed card. Although the signed card is completely safe, the hidden card has been torn. While magic like those in fantasies only exists in our minds, there is one that is real: love. Believe in the magic of love. Like, comment, and subscribe.